Hello everyone, Fanta here. You're watching FANTAVISION, and today I am discussing GameStop once again because Camelot and his million insiders, he's got his freaking fingers in every single part of the that sounds wrong. He's got tendrils going into corporate and manager stores and district leaders, and he's got all these different messages coming in. He's got this neural network like the Matrix. What is going on is the Phase 3 that was discussed, where 2,000 stores were going to be closed, has been confirmed. Now, before it was discussed and it was going to start in Q2 of 2020, it has been moved up to beginning at the end of December. This is going to be just this crazy thing. And let's just dive right in. So a bunch of viewers are already sending in pictures of their local GameStop stores closing. I mean, this is happening, guys. This is not just some thing that people are making up. GameStop has been hurting for a very long time because they have been doing business practices that, quite frankly, nobody likes. People don't like going into GameStop. GameStop is not a word that is synonymous with, oh, that's a great place. No, it's synonymous with, do I really have to go there right now? Can we shop somewhere else? Is the game available somewhere else? Also, along with these stores closing, a lot of the ones that are on their way to start closing aren't even accepting returns. A lot of people are messaging about. I mean, that's crazy. They're not accepting returns. Now, this kind of baffles me because I remember my store closing a lot different, but we'll get to that because store closings and how they work and things that he has seen are a bit different from what I've experienced, and we'll get into that here in a second. Now, when this purge or Thanos snap or whatever you want to call it was first announced, everybody was just thinking, oh, it's just going to be the stores that are doing bad. It's going to be the small stores, the dead stores, the ones that nobody really is going to miss. But no, there are stores that are making $1.4 million in malls that are going to be closed. There are stores that are making $1 million outside of malls, which is kind of crazy when you think about it. And those are being closed as well. So you don't really know which store is next. You don't know. If you are working at GameStop right now, you have no clue. You have no idea if your store is going to wind up next on this hit list. Because 2,000 stores is a crazy amount. So I would start job hunting now. You should probably start building that resume. Because if your store isn't closing right now, if it's not even part of this first 2,000, I don't see GameStop making it at the end of next year. If this is gonna happen, I don't see them making it. Along with the fear of their store closing, GameStop has always employed the stick method. And what I mean is there's two different methods of being a manager. There's the carrot and the stick. Now, carrot is when you are encouraging them, you're rewarding people for doing a good job. It's a positive way of reinforcement. The stick is you're beating them over the head with negative reinforcement and fear. And that is exactly what's going on right now in GameStop. People are already afraid, but GameStop has always employed the stick method of management. And managers, if they don't take in enough phones in their stores and trade in, they're being fired. That's insane to me. I don't understand how you're supposed to influence the amount of phones that are being traded in. Phones are, that's such a random thing to try to get, especially whenever the upgrades roll around, every store is taking phone trade-ins to make the next phone cheaper. Apple has a whole program where you just keep trading in phones and you never really own it. You're just kind of renting them. Best Buy takes in phones. So when the new ones come out, Verizon, Target, all of these different stores give you way more money than GameStop, and they don't give you GameStop trading credit, which is basically worthless at this point because the store is going to close down. So people are just being forced, 15 trade-ins a week for some stores? That is an insane number. I think when I was working in GameStop, I think I probably had 20 or 30 phones traded in the entire time I worked there. Phones being traded in was not a normal thing. And the process is such a pain in the ass. The fact that these requirements are so high is ridiculous. You can't have these massive number quotas when, like I said, the entire time I was there, 20 to 30 the entire time. That's not a lot. And you're requiring 15 a week. Now, to get these numbers, some stores are being pushed to quote the phone that their customer is using. So if you see, okay, this is ridiculous. You see the customer has their phone out, whatever they're doing with it, and you go, oh, what's your phone right there? They go, it's a Samsung Galaxy 10? Why? Oh, let me take a look at it real quick. No? Well, from here it looks very good. We'll give you $400 for that phone. They'd be like, what the hell are you talking about? I'm using this phone right now. You can't just willy-nilly go, oh, you're right. That's a lot of money. I could just get rid of my phone. That doesn't make any sense. So these unrealistic expectations have always existed in GameStop, and now they're just getting even more ridiculous. I mean, nice phone you got there. Want me to buy it? It's just so stupid. The difference in store closing that I've experienced and Camelot has experienced is huge. Now, Camelot has said, and I'm not doubting him or anything, I completely see GameStop doing this with all the sketchy things they've done. I do not disbelieve anything that is ever said about GameStop. I worked there long enough. I've seen enough crazy stuff. If somebody told me that GameStop was, I don't know, running some drug business underground and that's how they've been staying afloat, I'd believe it at this point. I mean, there's nothing that this company wouldn't do. So what happened at store closings with Camelot? Camelot discusses how stores, when they cancel reserves, they don't give the money back. They don't alert customers. They just keep it. Now, he didn't say the don't alert customers part, but they definitely don't alert everybody that we're just going to keep your money, because that's not what my store did. My store moved all of the pre-orders. Every store that ever closed that I know of, at least in my area, when they closed, they would cancel them, put them on gift cards, but they would do this on a very, very long call with another store that's nearby. And we basically try to alert every customer, hey, we're moving your reserves to this other store. And I know that people weren't just feeding these gift card numbers to corporate, because I've been there and I've done it. I have actually been canceling pre-orders and sending them to other stores, and I've been on the receiving end where they canceled a bunch of pre-orders and brought them over to our store. So I've seen it go to other stores after mine was closed, and I've seen it come to our store when another store was closed. So, I mean, I could see GameStop, like if there's no other GameStop within like an hour away, just saying, well, customers are going to forget anyway. If they didn't come in and cancel it and get their money back, I guess they're screwed. Now, my question is are they going to like force customers to use up their trading credit? Like, are they not going to give them their money back? Because that's the only way I can see it, is they're basically going to give people, here's your GameStop credit, either spend it now. This is, again, if stores are over an hour away. Spend it now, or have this useless card with the trading credit for a place you're never going to go to again. I mean, I guess you could use it on GameStop.com, but I feel like because your GameStop cards are tied to your phone now, you can, if you log into your account, you can see how much credit you have on your card. I feel like they should just put it back on that card, because then you can have it on your phone. So even if you've lost your GameStop Pro card and you're logged in your phone, you still have that card. So I don't get why they would just screw over customers. Actually, no, I do get why, because they're GameStop and they're corporate. They're a corporation, you know? I mean, this is par for the course for a lot of companies, unfortunately. So Camelot's video ends with the messages from one of his corporate contacts that are left, because a lot of them have been fired, because just like he said, from his contacts, half of corporate got fired. That's crazy anyway. It just, every single time I say that or hear that, it blows my mind that in one day they closed half of corporate. They fired half of corporate. It's not like they closed off half the building and went, you go over here. Though actually, that's not far-fetched either. He ends the video with his contact saying that there will be 300 to 500 stores that will be closing every month after December. Now that sounds weird. Why is it after December? Is that just a yearly corporate thing? No, it's not. Let's dive into what that means. So they're closing only 70 stores in December to get as many holiday sales as possible, and then they start closing the stores so people can't make returns or use their new gift cards. Now, yes, it does make it more difficult to use gift cards because the store is closing, but I mean, you could always just shop online. So it's like kind of it's still sketchy. Like that the fact that this is their corporate strategy that they're having meetings about, they are trying to lessen the amount of returns, which they're definitely going to do if they're going to close those stores right after the holiday season. Especially because during the holiday season, GameStop offers a longer return program. So if they're closing stores before people can cash in on that longer return program, what are they going to do? They're just going to have to deal with it or drive to a very, very far away store, and then the gas money's not worth it, and they're just kind of stuck with whatever they didn't want. You can't return items from stores to online, so they're just kind of screwed. So you might be saying, well, Fanta, that's not 2,000 stores still. If it's only 300 to 500, it's every month after December, and that's going to continue into the second quarter, which will reach that 2,000 store number. Wow. So they're not going to tell people that their stores are closing. Of course, they don't, because even when my store was closing, they were not supposed to tell us until I think like the last week when we were going to finally start packing up the store, shipping stuff out. They were going to give us as little notice as possible. But the HR lady randomly came in and went, "How are you guys dealing with it?" Way before we were supposed to know. And the district manager came in going, "Really? She told you already? Like, what the hell?" I'm glad she did, because we actually had time to find new jobs, to figure out what we were going to do with our lives, and figure out how we're going to make money after this store is closed. I don't understand why a company would ever do this to people, where they don't let people know until the last second. That's evil. I don't get that. These are people that are making their living at these stores. Some people are paycheck to paycheck, and you're not going to tell them when those paychecks are going to run out? You're not going to give people time to find a new job? It's ridiculous. It's not easy to find a job. You can't just walk into a place and go, "I'm going to work here now." And they go, "Oh, okay." No, it's a pain in the ass. You got to throw together a resume. You got to update your LinkedIn. You got to just go to a billion different stores, especially if you're going to work retail again. You have to hope to God a nearby store is hiring. Now, what's up with all these phone trade-ins? That is always something I've wondered myself. And it sounds like Camelot has found the answer with all of his people sending in stuff. He's got like this wealth of information, insider information of what's going on in the belly of GameStop. They are taking these phones and selling them to a Chinese company to boost their earnings report to keep that stock up. If they were not doing this, apparently they'd be bankrupt already. And I could see it. I mean, video games, you have to be selling used games, and Black Friday was so bad that Phase 3 has been moved up to now, and Black Friday is all about buying new stuff because that's what's cheap. You're buying all these new games, but guess who's not making money on new game sales? GameStop. GameStop makes like nothing on new games, especially ones that are deeply discounted. The only thing I bought from GameStop on Black Friday was 4 copies of Anthem for $5 each, just for a future video. They made nothing from that. They made absolutely nothing. They broke even, if anything, or they lost money because they probably bought it a long time ago. I don't know how GameStop has survived this long with their terrible business practices of keeping employees in a state of fear to hit those numbers and offering no real reason for customers to shop there. Their rewards program has always been worse than everywhere else. Their game prices have always been worse than everywhere else. And now Walmart's even undercutting them by having brand new games come out for $10 cheaper. Day one. already undercutting GameStop's used price of a newer game by $5. So there's literally no reason to shop there anymore. And I think that after GameStop closes, somebody is going to take up the reins and start their own thing, because there's going to be a market gap for used games. It's going to be a thing again. We're going to have a bunch of mom and pop shops pop up, and we might have one get bigger and bigger and bigger, and then maybe we'll just see them implode again. I don't know. Or digital sales will just keep getting bigger, and the used game market will just keep shrinking, and it'll just be staying with a couple mom and pop shops depending on where you live. So there you go, everyone. Let me know what you guys think about this whole situation. Let me know if you're going to follow Camelot's advice and cancel all of your game pre-orders. I mean, it doesn't hurt, honestly. I mean, if this is a possibility, which I definitely see it could be, that they just keep your money and don't tell you that they're shutting down, I think you should go there and cancel as well. There's no reason to have things even pre-order at GameStop anymore. Everywhere has pre-orders. And I don't know. It's a bittersweet thing for me to see GameStop close, because I do like the fact that there's a secondary market that isn't just eBay, but they just keep doing corrupt, awful things. So I think it's time for them to go. Thanks for watching, everyone. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe for more content, and as always, have a fantastic day. See you guys. Today I'm drinking passion fruit LaCroix. For the love of God, LaCroix, please sponsor me. That'd be great. I'm giving you so much free advertising. Wow. I learned so much from Camelot's video. If you want to hear exactly what was going on in the messages, because he reads the entire messages that he's sent. If you want to see the pictures of stores closing, go check out his video. The link will be down in the description. My God, it's so crazy for me to see how many stores are closing. Just the pictures that are being sent in. Just the pictures that are being sent in by his viewers of their local stores closing is crazy. It is definitely happening. I don't get why people are still doubting it. I mean, it makes more sense that GameStop is shutting down this many stores than it does to not have it being shut down this many stores at this point. Because, yeah, their GameStop, their Black Friday sale just sucked. So that's what happens.